Good morning. It's a beautiful morning out here cultivating soybeans. This is actually our first pass through this field of cultivating. We've rotary hoed it twice and we've tine weeded it twice. Tines down both times. That Trefler did a phenomenal job. This field in the past has been wet and it has had a lot of foxtail. We did some tiling on this field, which has helped greatly, but that Trefler's done a great job. It's a lot later for us to have our first pass cultivate. We never had that Trefler in the past, so it seemed like we were in our fields earlier. We're running with the Hiniker cultivator. I'll just show you here. I'm running 3.9 miles per hour. We have 21-inch shares on, so we have about 6 inches between the tips, which is really close. This requires the ultimate precision. But the best part about it is we can get really close to the row and we can slice a lot of weeds off that grow right next to the row. So very happy with the weed control in this field. If I just did a quick pan of the field, you're not going to see a whole lot of weeds. I haven't even gone over there yet, but right here there's a foxtail I see. We just killed it, sliced it right up. And I'll get you some footage of the cultivator working here in a little bit. But yeah, just wanted to share in this field. Looking pretty good. We are doing our first pass cultivate. Just trying to keep it clean is kind of the point right now. And so far it looks really, really good. Hey, still cultivating here. One thing I wanted to show you, if you could see back there, you see that yellow band of soybeans. Way in the back, that's IDC, or iron deficiency chlorosis, which is an inability for the soybean plant to take up iron. There's iron in the soil, it just can't take it up. This year is particularly bad. This field, for the most part, is good, but got a really big band of yellow right there, and it's, I believe, salts kind of in that ring that are preventing the plant from getting iron up. Otherwise, still cultivating. I picked up speed a little bit. If you look back here, you can really see the job it's doing. So going a little over 4 miles an hour and getting most of the weeds. There's a few in the row that the zapper will have to get, but otherwise pretty happy with this field, actually. Just a beautiful field of soybeans. Planted late. I believe we planted this field June 19th. So it's a late planting, I guess I would say calendar-wise, but I think still has very, very good potential. And this was a weedy field, especially 2 years ago on soybeans. So to come back with a fairly clean field, I feel pretty good about it. So just still going. It's 230 acres, so this will take me a while. I think I have about 7 hours of cultivating left. So, but working on it. We'll get through the day. About midday, still cultivating soybeans. They look pretty good behind. A few weeds, we're getting most of them. Just wanted to show you that IDC spot again. So you can see it, it's yellow, and that's just the inability of that plant to take up iron, which it needs. So it really stunts them in those areas. Unfortunately, we got a lot of IDC across a bunch of our fields. Even the conventional guys have a lot of IDC, so just something we deal with. I don't know if there's a whole lot you can do about it. Certain years is worse. Big rains kind of maybe leach some of the salts down, which I think helps. We haven't had those. We've had a lot of smaller rains lately, so we'll see what happens. We're just trying to keep them clean for now and see where we go from there. Hey, good morning. It's July 15th, doing our final cultivator pass on our one of our first soybean fields. It's a field of Pioneer 1.5 maturity soybeans. Pretty clean field. I'll just show you ahead of us what we have. There's a corn plant, but we'll get that with the zapper. Otherwise, remarkably clean, I would say. So I'm headed that way to do that. Looking behind, I'll just give you a quick view of what it looks like. So I'm cruising along 6.2 miles an hour with this Hiniker cultivator. You've heard me say it before, but I'm very happy with our Hinikers. This is the cultipro. You can just adjust it so many different ways. It's about perfect for this application. We're throwing a little bit of dirt in the row, but not too much. We got 21-inch sweeps on, or lays on. So we're getting really close to the row, but that's what we do. This requires we go pretty straight, which our GPS takes care of for us. But yeah, this is just a gorgeous field. This is really fun, actually. Fun to have days like this. So I'll just show the field in the background here. Off in the distance, you can maybe see some different colored soybeans. So I could go faster, but I don't want to because I'm pushing the beans over. They're already pretty tall, and we're not hurting them. They're just kind of tipped the opposite way so you can see it. But this afternoon they'll tip back upright. They'll be fine. Just moving the leaves over. But otherwise, yeah, you can just see cruising along through the field. Not getting a whole lot of weeds because there isn't that many, but there is sporadically some new growth. Maybe some 1-inch to 2-inch tall weeds underneath that we want to make sure we get before it canopies fully here, and then hopefully soybeans will choke any of those out. But that's kind of a little tricky part of organic farming, is when to do that last pass. If you do it too early, especially if you catch a rain, sometimes you'll get new growth that comes underneath, and then you end up with kind of a green mat come fall. We should be fine here. There is no rain forecasted for the next few days. This should canopy and should keep those weeds at bay. This should be a very clean field. So I'll just show you, just as I'm going through the field, just a little bit further here. Kind of do a pan of the field. You can see behind. That's where we've been. Yeah, like I said, this is the fun days when you have fields like this that you can cultivate. So this is a pretty clean field. I have a row, the next pass, got a row with a little bit of weeds in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to film that row, just so you know we do have spots in fields that get weedy. Yes, this part looks pretty good, but I just want to show you what the Hiniker does when you have weedy spots. So remember, we're running really close to the row. So what you're going to see when I get back to that spot on the next pass, you're going to see some of those weeds getting clipped or cut by the Hiniker lays, and they'll just fall right into the row or between the row. If it's right where the bean is, we're not going to get them. That's going to have to be our weed zapper will get those. Before we had the weed zapper, it would have been manual walkers would have gotten those. But I just wanted to show you coming up here. I'll put the camera out on the next round so you can see what it's like if there is a weedy spot, and you'll be able to see those lays just slice some of those weeds. I feel like we're getting about a third of them, maybe a half of them in some areas that have kind of snuck through. This is our second cultivate pass. The last time we used 19s actually, so this time we got 21s on. So we're getting a little bit closer to try to get a few more of those weeds. But yeah, I'll show you what it's like in the middle of the row.